Yesterday I told you and I showed you how much time you have to spend in playing games during this Mad Games event, and it's hell of a lot. Today I'm going to show you how to find your best tank to grind through Mad Games as fast as possible. I'm Neil, and this is my take on grinding Mad Games. As I mentioned earlier, yesterday I showed you in my previous video how much time you have to spend by playing games in this Mad Games event in order to get a Gravedigger, which is kind of madness. Just sounds like the name of the event, right? So today we are going to find out your best tank and my best tank as well, because I'm going to show you on my profile. We have to go through some logical steps to explain you how I came with this metric and how we can actually really find out the tank which does the best for you and for me and for everyone who will check this video. So the first assumption from the previous video is you should be playing tier 10s, because every win in tier 10s means 100 points. If you play tier 5s you get only 50 points. But then if you check loads of players' stats, you'll find out they do way much better in tier 5s and 6s than in tier 10s. Basically they are pretty doing well in, like, let's say 60% win rate or 65% win rate in tier 5, 60% in tier 6, and it's gradually going down to, let's say, 30% win rate in tier 10. That means they are not very doing well in tier 10 and they are kind of uncomfortable in that tier and they don't really like to play it, but somehow they find out, yeah, I have these 100 points from a win, so I should play tier 10s. And that's not really true, because, for example, if you do 65% wins in tier 5, you get 50 points, right? But if you do only 30% wins in tier 10, you will get more points by playing tier 5s than playing tier 10s for same amount of battles. So you are better off playing tier 5s. Then that makes us to come to conclusion you should play a tanks which have the highest win rate, the one you do the most, like the best. But there's another problem. For example, if you play TD and your win rate, let's say you have a TD which does 80% win rate and you are pretty cool in that, but TDs normally takes longer to play. Let's say if you play medium, average game time would be 2.5 minutes, but if you are playing TD you might be spending 4 minutes. So even if your win rate is so good, you are probably better off playing mediums or fast tanks which acquire wins faster. This brings us to the metric which is really important to us, and that's average time to get a win. While I haven't found this metric, I found a metric which basically tells us exactly the same, and that's wins per minute. Sure, you won't get more than 1 win per minute, you are more likely to get less than that, but we have coefficient which tells us how actually average win takes. So that means we should play tanks which gather the wins the fastest. But that's not completely true, because you can have let's say tier 5 tank which have 0.3 wins per minute, then you are grinding pretty fast, the 50 points per each win. But you can have tier 10 tank which wins every 0.25, so that tier 10 will be way much more efficient in actually grinding the biogas. So the final formula, which makes sense for this event, is that we will take wins per minute, we'll multiply it by a tier and by 10, because that's a constant which multiplies a tier in order to get biogas. So by this multiplication of these three values, we'll get how many biogas per minute you are actually gathering with the tank. But now how we will find out? So I'll show you, and just follow me on this. We'll go to www.blitzstars.com. I'll search out my nickname, which is Napibara. You see it right here, but you can write it in the search. That's me. And we'll go down through all the statistics and so on. Now I'll filter out all the tanks which I played less than 20 games, because it's just screwing our stats. And I select only tier 5 to tier 10. Now I get all the tanks which are valid for our statistics, which is quite a lot right now, you see. So we are not interested in win rate, we are not interested in kill death ratio and so on. So I'll click out all the stats we don't need. There we are. We need wins per minute, only wins per minute, you see. So now our statistics are much clearer. We have a tank name, we have a tier, and we have win per minute, the most important statistics we need. So now I'll select the table, and you have to really click it the way I did, because otherwise the importing into an Excel, it's not that great. So I'll start right with the first tank with the name, copy all the tanks I have which are valid for statistics, which are quite a lot, copy it into a Excel sheet, which is hardly processable right now, but I'll insert here some like tank, tier, win per minute, or wins per minute. There we are, and biogas per minute. All right, there we are. So now we'll set a filter here in data. There we are. All right, all work done. Filter it out. Where it is? Here it is. Filtering it out. And we need a formula. Let me get it closer so you can see it. Formula is then B2 by 10. So that's a tier by 10. That's amount of biogas per win by wins per minute. And this tank have 26.4. Now if we go down to the bottom of the lane, we see, for example, Panzerkampfwagen 4 have 7.85. Obviously that's not our tank to play. Now I'll sort it from the largest to the smallest, and I'll find out that my best tanks are actually tier 10s. Sorry, I need to filter out the blanks one again. Come on. Alright. So first one is T62A, Object 140, Object 263, which is actually a TD, STB, Batchat, Leopard. So I'm really better off playing tier 10s and mostly mediums, as you see, except the Object 263. Other than that, I'm very comfortable with playing tier 10s. And if I would not have these first 6 tanks, I would be better off playing AMX CDC a tier 8 than playing tier 10s. And you see, for example, even Dracula is one of my very good acquirer of biogas, even though it's tier 7 and not tier 10. To show you other stats, I checked friend of mine which have tier 10s, and you can see his best tank would be Century Mark 7.1. And then it's even Yak Panther tier 8, and he is better off playing 8s and 10s, sorry, 8s and 8s and 9s. I checked some random guys as well. I don't want to reveal the names, so here you are. Top 5 are 2 tier 9s, 2 tier 8s, and 1 tier 10. So if you are mixing up these tanks, you are really on a good track in getting the mad games done as soon as possible. You see, Object 140, T54, this guy likes this line, right? WZ111, it's pretty good, but you see Object 140 is doing way much better. And there's the last one, and this guy have Type 62, Lorraine, T54 lightweight, CDC, loads of premiums here. But you see, that's how you get it. So my advice, you do this, get your data right, pick like your top 5 tanks or so, and you see 29. Oh my god, that's quite a lot. I should be playing this tank the most, and Object 140 as well. So get this data, find out what's your best tank, write down in your comments like your top 3 tanks to grind, and if you are not following this, just write down your favorite tanks. Just mention those are the favorite ones. I'm really interested how well you do in your tanks. Maybe also mention biogas per minute if you want to. Alright, so that's it. That's your best tank to play. This is my best tank to play. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it will help you to grind through the mad games faster and save you some unnecessary time by losing and not enjoying the game, because if you are not comfortable in the tier you are playing, you better off switch from it and play 6s, 7s instead of 10s, right? It might put you off from the game and not want to finish the mad games. And yeah, as I said earlier, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do so, please give it a like. If you didn't, you know the dislike button is there as well. To see more videos in the future, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you in next video. And in the meantime, I'll wish you loads of great games, loads of ammo boxes, not yours as well. Loads of engine fires and loads of success in going through the Mad Games event and getting that Gravedigger as cheap as possible. Thank you and see you guys.